My predecessor. Oh, God, I miss it.
Crypt.
Did that clip even play? I don't even know, but I'm bringing these knuckleheads on.
Yeah, the clip
They
played
wanted
for
me to start a stream. This is a not CG stream, just to be clear.
Right, I'm here.
Well, you're outnumbered.
I'm never outnumbered. God is on my side.
You know, I don't make fun of people's religion. Damn.
I don't know why you always have to be judging me. Because I only believe in science.
Right.
Hey, boys.
What's going on?
So what's all the kerfuffle? I was busy making some delicious carne asada, so I couldn't hop in.
9 o'clock
Twitless.
at night?
He's
Say again,
in
sorry?
talent.
I did with the.
I can't hear anything you guys are saying. Speak up.
Hello.
I could turn the volume up, I suppose.
Yeah, that might help.
Okay. So this is going to be a work stream for me because I am working. That's why. See, I just kicked her off my computer because I said I had to work, and then you're like, start a stream.
I didn't.
So I have begun a stream. Is it ever a CG? Well, if you mean by comics, great.
So what was your? I mean, I know you were listening to and you were probably cooking a little bit. What was your opinion on Twitless's bad takes?
That's generally Twitless. Yeah, TJ was spot on.
TJ was not spot on.
TJ was spot on, dude. You guys are so like.
He was so not spot on.
You're CEA. You're covering Ethan's ass. That's all you're doing.
It's had nothing to do. I didn't even.
Yes, it does.
Not with with what I was saying. Not with my argument with TJ.
Well, here's the thing. You're saying,
that.
No, here's the thing, Dark Gift. You were saying that Richard had a nuanced opinion about this whole thing.
Correct.
Ethan did not.
Initially.
And now Ethan, don't freaking start this initially crap. This was for years, Anthony.
I'm not saying that it might have gotten skewed and that he fell into the trap of like everybody else did and taking it literally eventually.
Now you're saying Ethan's stupid.
No, I'm not saying he's stupid. Don't put words in my mouth, Mike. Don't put your words in my mouth.
I think Ethan understood what he was saying, which makes him a hypocrite now. See, and you were saying I was being a hypocrite, but I never held that position. I was like, wait, why can't Tim do his Trump comic? I don't see the problem with this.
Well, when I said that, I thought you were
politics in comics because we're an anti-political. He was not nuanced about it in the
when I said that, I thought when you were saying TJ was right, you were saying he was right about something that he wasn't even saying, I think.
No, I got what he was saying. I think you didn't get what he was saying.
No, because then he was saying that or he was under the impression somebody was making like an actual Trump book.
Oh, yeah,
and
but I also think he knew what he was talking, and he was just kind of talking out the side of his mouth on that at that moment.
Because we were like nobody.
Ink Cowboy, did Ethan ever say that people couldn't do Trump comics? He straight up said that those shouldn't, Comicsgate shouldn't do political comics, while Tim was funding a Trump comic as a Comicsgate comic. So that was like cutting the knees off of him. It's like, oh, we're Comicsgate, we don't support this.
That is true.
Ethan
that is true.
Controls 80% of Comicsgate. Don't support this. I like you guys because you're the 20%.
Convenient that we're here.
Yeah. See, the 80% wouldn't show up.
Yes, that's how it works.
I
don't know. I came on in 2019.
You don't have to hear. You don't have to hear Twitless's side. It's fine.
Yeah.
His takes are generally terrible, except for when he's talking about my art.
Nah.
and he's spot on.
He has an analytical approach to it. I appreciate that because I get in the passionate weeds of it.
No,
right?
so Ink Cowboy, what Mike is saying is early on when CG first started, there was a message, a broad message, especially from Zach and Ethan. And someone had a book at that same time that was being funded. And by Zach's message and Ethan's message, it potentially and probably actually did swipe off some chunks of funding that he could have gotten if people weren't led in the direction that you shouldn't be investing in this or supporting it and things like that. So
Yeah, I don't think he actually ever said don't support it. He just said, if I remember,
but he
we
brought-
shouldn't be making
Bro,
it.
you gotta stop pretending like
Stop
Ethan
it,
has to
Anthony.
say
Stop it.
things point blank for Comicsgate to get the gist. You know, if he says, "Oh yeah, Comicsgate shouldn't be doing political comics," he doesn't have to say, "Hey, Comicsgate, you shouldn't be supporting these political comics." It's
Yeah,
the
he
same
didn't.
thing.
Yeah. It was
Well,
the
then-
statements, his live
Then
stream.
are we saying that the people like let's just say that he had a hidden agenda when he said that to not
He
support it,
didn't.
right?
That was just. I mean, it was Ethan's take.
It's not a hint.
But
look at it.
can I finish my sentence?
Okay,
I don't know.
Does that mean does that mean that the people listening to him that took it as, I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, for him to say we shouldn't be making this, and then people in the audience taking it as Ethan wants me to not support this, that just makes them seem, I don't know. I feel like it makes them
Tribalist?
seem, I wouldn't even say tribalist.
I think that's a fairly decent.
I am in full support of tribalism, like in movements like this in small niche
Gullible.
society. Not
Well,
gullible.
no, because they've been spending all these months, I don't know, however long they were into it, listening to Ethan's opinion guide them on what Comicsgate was and was not. And when he says Comicsgate shouldn't be this thing, that's very pointedly saying Comicsgate, you guys shouldn't support this thing. He doesn't have to freaking say the literal translation of I don't want you guys to support this Tim Lim comic book, right? The message is very clear, and you know, it is what it is.
When I
And
came in February of 2019, the politics thing was over with, and CG was apolitical at that time. That politics in books was strongly discouraged from all angles, left
Yeah,
or right, up
that's-
or down.
Well,
That
I
was
don't.
never my
I don't
position. I just
that.
didn't want SJW bullcrap shoved down my throats in my favorite. If somebody wants to make a comic book political and it's their comic book, go ahead. Go do a freaking Karl Marx biopic. I don't care if it's your book. Don't put it in Spider-Man,
Right.
right? That was my position. I was never about don't put politics in comics. Like if I want to do a Trump comic, I'm gonna do a Trump comic.
And you
I want
did.
to do actually, I was thinking about this while you guys were going back and forth. I thought it would be really funny if I did one on Kickstarter and I did a Trump versus Biden comic book, and I had 2 tiers: Trump wins, Biden wins, and whoever bought the most comics, I would make that the comic.
You make that the ending.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
That was easy.
Like
Right.
pit the audience against each other. Like vote with your dollars.
That's JDA's spite campaign with top.
As
Yeah.
you subconsciously
Top
suck the
riff.
commies into capitalism.
Right. That's right. He says that would be funny. It could be fun. Mike never said if the only reason you follow me is because of Ethan, don't buy my books. I didn't say don't buy my books. I said if the only reason that you're subscribed to me is because Ethan told you to, and you don't actually like my content. You always forget that part of the caveat, 7. If you didn't like me and you were just there because of Ethan. I mean, I was just getting tired of every week they would.
Well, I thought that
attack
was
me
a bad
about
move on your behalf. I wouldn't
It
have
was
said that.
it was indelicate, and I apologize because one of my friends in CG came to me and said that like they took it that way, even though
Yeah.
I worded it. I thought I worded it in a way that it was understandable, but when he came to me and said that, that's when I posted the apology for that post, because I was like, all right, if a friend is going to tell me that, then
Yeah.
obviously
When
I
you
did
did
not
it at an
word
inopportune
that way.
time, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of scenarios were going on at the time, and you,
Your anger was readable.
yeah, and you are a
Well,
very
yeah.
stubborn man, as you
Yeah.
have said.
I
And
Dude, I was being freaking bombarded.
No, but
Well-
what I'm saying is like it came through in the statement, so
yeah,
that
yeah,
like what 7 to 9 even says here, don't take yourself literally, because you're saying don't take Ethan literally. So a lot of people can, you know, in the same sense that you're saying that was his intent, can
Discern.
read that as your intent. Yeah.
Okay,
And a
well
lot
then
of people did.
that is a very good example of how that works, right?
No, true.
So I didn't have to intend to say that, and even Ethan didn't have to intend to say that, but Comicsgate took it exactly that way.
Yeah. And then conversations were created back and forth in the people circle of Twitter. So
Send PTP the link.
They're just saying
would
send
use
like all outcasts the link, send Gabe the link, send PTP the link.
Gabe.
Yeah, that'll go over well.
I gotta get something to drink. I'll be right back.
But I think by doing that and putting you on the outskirts for a little bit, like if you hadn't done those things, then what's going on with you today probably would have been different.
Whatever. I'm what they meant for evil, God meant for good. Whatever is happening is happening. I'm
exactly.
on my own path, and I can't. Yeah.
I wouldn't look at it as a net negative, but at the time, definitely a negative.
Well, yeah, it was a difficult time to go through, personally and professionally. So, but that's the past. Get over it. Move on.
Yep.
And try not to sell your Bitcoin in the bear market.
Right.
What's up, Cider? How you doing, buddy?
I'm alive. I'm up late. We did
right.
Oh, Jacob's Barroom podcast just wrapped up. We were talking about the ills of rich and powerful women in celebrity news tonight. So
Oh.
one of the guys in the chat got me talking about my exes, and so like my blood pressure's up, so I'm awake.
All of my exes never give me high blood pressure.
I thought you were
Okay.
going to say live in Texas.
Ah,
All of my exes
Live in Texas. That's why I make my home in Tennessee. That's an oldie.
yep.
So, yeah, TJ was right. Dark Gift was wrong. Twitless, always wrong. Except,
What? Why?
it's just a thing, Cider. Just
I'm
kidding.
not the host of the Y Files KSSS. I'm not. AJ is a nice man, and he deserves all the credit that he can get for that show. It's great.
It's your
I
brother.
haven't
and
watched
you
that
know it.
like in a month.
It's still amazing.
Yeah.
Hasn't lost a bit of its charm.
So here's the thing. I was thinking about this while I had to run out to my car and get a bag of potato chips that I left in there.
Yeah,
'Cause I haven't eaten
for real.
since like 2 p.m. Actually, now that
That's
I'm thinking,
I
bad.
just had delicious carne asada tacos.
I know the sandwich I had earlier today was delicious. It was prosciutto with mozzarella and roasted red peppers, and oh, so good.
I like
But-
he says prosciutto instead of prosciutto.
Mozzarella.
What you call
Mozzarella.
it? Yeah,
I like the
you gotta-
prosciutto mozzarella.
you got to say it right,
Yeah.
But
Mozzarella.
I think the reason, maybe, I don't know. I don't want to say that I'm the gullible one, but I think the reason why I take people for what they say, like at face value, is because I usually say what I mean at face value. Like I don't usually have like I don't say something that like.
Well, I don't think Ethan was saying something that he didn't think. I think that he wasn't cognizant of the effects it would have on the people who listen to him.
I would agree with that. I would agree with
Well,
that.
and he's an influencer. He knows he's an influencer, so I don't believe that.
Well,
I
now he
know-
does. I don't know if he maybe knew that then, though. Do you think? I mean, I don't
No.
know.
Mm-hmm.
That's-
I mean, I don't
Ethan-
think he hated Tim Lim at the time.
Yeah, no.
That's what I mean.
It was just it was the politics at the moment. It's like what Sunshine just said. Ethan changed his mind. Yeah, he totally did. And it's what CG was when it first started versus what it is now. It's completely different. You know what I mean? There's so many different voice. Like JDA has streams where it's 100+ people. Shane, Mandy, the Australian, forget his name,
Michael Bancroft.
Bancroft.
Bancroft. Like they have high numbers of viewers, and none of those people existed really. When it first started, it was a bunch of fucking. Excuse me, Mike. I don't know if you have the earphones in. It was a bunch of nonsensical, stupid perspectives from a very narrow window of people. It's like what I was trying to say before TJ had jumped in. When CG first started, the influence circle was extremely small, and the chat was even smaller. And now it's blossomed into a much different thing than it initially was. And
Blossomed or fractioned?
well, I wouldn't say blossom. I would say blossom because there's so many different avenues now. So I wouldn't say fractured. Would you say fractured? I don't know.
I
don't
said
know. I
fractioned,
wouldn't
but
say
fractured was probably a better word.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say. I would agree. I don't know if blossom's even a better word, but like expanded, right?
Well, let's see here.
Like,
I know JDA is determinately seeking audience outside of CG by doing his
Yeah.
regular, his short content videos. He's doing well growing his audience through those short videos. So he's not like some of these guys who might just be like, I'm gonna go on these shows. I'm gonna try to bring audience over, and so that's kind of staying in the pool, right? It's like I want more people from my pool in my thing. JDA is out here trying to get people to join the pool, right? So I think Bancroft is doing that. I don't follow the other guys you were mentioning. Pretty much, I just follow JDA. I don't really follow Bancroft either. No offense to him if he's around, but I have watched his show a few times, and that's kind of what you need to do if you want to grow this at all, because
Yeah.
the
yeah, no, I
attrition is
agree.
real. The
Well, I'd
attrition
say
is real,
someone
and
who
everybody ignores it.
But I think what Jay Dollar was saying, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Jay Dollar, is that like originally it was literally like yours and Ethan's channel, right? It was Ethan's channel, then it was your channel, then Malin, and it was like 3 channels that everybody kind of fluctuated around.
Yeah, Malin was tiny though.
Yeah, but there was Drawn and Quartered on Wednesdays and Comicsgate Live on whatever. It started off as a morning show, but then it turned into a night show. And then Malin had the Comicsgate Presents, and that was it. But
That
now,
was later though.
yeah,
In the beginning, it was like, I mean, me and Ethan streamed probably 4 or 5 nights a week together.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
But now, and like I was saying this earlier, like I was like, Hothead Studios was like, the slums weren't even around. I was like, the slums were around back then. They just weren't called the slums. But you had the Rotten Glories, the Bancrofts, the Mandys, all these people who like made Nerdette, even if you want, from back in the day, Graded Point 5, these small channels that popped up, and then they either left because they got into a fight, or they just, I don't know, maybe Rotten Glory's in jail, we don't know. and or they graduated up, right? Even like Tug and Yellow Flash were like those smaller channels that just blew up.
Yeah,
And
there were so few people back then that you didn't want to stream over each other.
Right. You
You'd be
could
like,
literally figure
nobody
that
but
out.
me streamed on Wednesday nights because I was doing Drawn and Quartered. And then
Right.
when Ethan did, he had I can't remember what it was. It was particular. Nobody would do. Oh, no. It was when he was on with the Star Wars guys.
Oh, right. That was it
Yeah, but
Tuesday or Thursday
nobody would
nights or
do-
something?
nobody
Town
would stream
council.
on
Yeah,
Tuesday.
Forgot about that.
Right. So
Yeah.
everybody had a night.
it's
and like
true.
almost nobody ever crossed, like, but now you guys, like Well Read streams over Jack Show every Thursday, right? And it's like for people who don't want to deal with that debauchery, they come over
Right.
here and listen
You
to
got
your
Phil in
debauchery.
the chat. Phil streams over Comic State Kings on Mondays. Yeah, there's a
see,
lot of
now there's multiple channels you can tune to.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Which is where I think Jay Dollar was going, is like now, those guys graduated up. They became like what we call like the mid tier, level, because they're not the quote unquote kings or whatever. They're not the pros or whatever. But I would say they're even just as big though. You know what I mean? Like as far as like views and maybe not subs, but views and stuff. And then you had us who came up later,
I was going to say
me, Well Read,
another
Finatra.
person, just to throw in another example, Adam Post. Like he's
Killing it. He's
Bro,
at 26,000 subscribers.
30,000.
Shut up, dude. I just checked like last
Bro,
week.
30,000.
Really?
And he's
Damn.
created his own avenue. I think he still says he has stuff coming out that he wants to do.
Oh yeah, I
But
talked
anyway,
to
just
him. I
another
talked to him last
example.
week.
Yeah, it's just another example of the blossoming.
Yeah,
Phil
but
is- Phil-
Adam's doing purely political stuff. But at some point in time, he's gonna shift over and start lives. Probably when he hits like I would tell him to wait till he hits like 100,000 subscribers, and then like start live
Nah.
streaming too.
Phil's correct. Phil's show is actually on Mondays before the Kings. Technically, Phil started streaming over me, because when I started streaming my open mic night on Mondays, there was nobody streaming on Monday nights. So Phil started streaming over me. And then Ethan started streaming over both of us.
All right, I may regret this.
What's up?
I'm just gonna drop the link in the chat again.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Phil, jump on in.
I don't think I've ever met him.
Really?
Phil's
Yeah,
a good
I
It's
dude.
weird. You never like, because you're so familiar with watching people. It's like you forget who you've met and who you haven't. All right.
Yeah, he still says that, Kiss.
You still what?
What KSS said, I just call him Kiss. I ain't trying to
Oh.
say S 3 times.
If you're watching, I love you, and if you're not, I miss you. Aw, that's cute. So, yeah, let's see. I want to get your guys' opinion on what I said on Twitter, because it was kind of a kerfuffle on JDA stream when I posted it, or when I shared it today.
Okay, so we're done with the history lesson. Cool. It's really weird. I should be used to it because as a younger person in Maine, like I'm surrounded by old people that talk about stuff that happened before I was born. So I should be.
Oh
used
my
to,
gosh,
like,
dude,
talking
this wasn't
about
that
stuff
long ago.
before No, it's just I should be used to people talking about stuff I have no reference point for. But that was really awkward for me. Like you guys are going around about this stuff. I don't remember. I wasn't CG born yet to know that. I'm sorry.
Speaking of Maine, what are they saying
no.
about Hurricane Lee or whatever it's called?
Yeah, it's just rain. We got rain for another week. That's it. Just more rain. It's fall.
Right.
We're used to
Yeah.
it.
Because one of the things says it's going to slam like right into you guys.
Yeah. And what happens is it's rain.
Oh, you're my niece's age. She was born in 1989.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, so you are pretty old.
Tell me what you guys think about this poll going so far. Which strength is greater, strength in numbers or strength of conviction?
That's a trick question, Mike.
I don't know how you want me to answer that.
I mean, you don't have to answer. I just want you to.
It's a trick question.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, because strength of conviction obviously is probably the most.
We got one conviction in the chat.
Conviction creates numbers, so.
Well, right, that, but like to
Wow.
hold on to one's own individual convictions is a strength that like not every man or woman has.
Right.
But to focus that conviction on the target that you have, right? To win that battle, you need numbers of people with the same conviction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's a trick question, because you could have all the conviction in the world and get crucified.
Well, like
on
when
a cross,
Christianity, when Christianity first started brewing in the Levant and all that, there was more conviction than numbers, and then the conviction
Well,
led to numbers.
right? Well, that's what I was saying. I was like,
Yeah.
like you can have all the conviction in the world, but you wind up getting crucified on a hill somewhere.
Well,
I
look,
was
I'll give
making
you an
a
even
reference to Jesus. He had his convictions, and he stuck by them, and wound up getting killed by the Romans for it.
I'll give you an
Yeah.
even like more popular. Well, I wouldn't say popular than Jesus, but more like out there one. You have the Dokudo by Musashi, the guy that basically established what it is to be a samurai, right? And that guy, strength of conviction, he lived in a freaking cave most of his life after he killed the only opponent he ever feared. He gave up being a swordsman and started writing the philosophy of being a swordsman. And later that evolved into how samurai conducted themselves. So, I mean, your strength of your conviction can build numbers. You may not live to see it, but it'll do that.
Correct. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's generational growth for sure.
Yeah.
I have an intro here for 7 of 9.
There's nothing gay about it.
That's brilliant.
Welcome, 7.
What's up, Seven?
Thank you. How are y'all?
What's up, our gay friend?
Nothing. Gay dollar.
What? One of the last ones in comics. I mentioned that earlier. How like there's
Hey,
not many.
he's the only one you need.
He's definitely one of the
How many gays
one
do
of the
you need?
coolest ones.
How many games does it take to screw in a light bulb?
All of us.
They'll call the help. They don't know how to.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
All right. But what good is following the crowd without conviction? If there's strength in numbers,
What good is following
good
the
is-
crowd without conviction?
what good is following a crowd without conviction? You know, if there's strength in numbers and you don't have any conviction, what's
What about when
point?
the crowd turns away from your conviction? What's more important, being in the crowd or sticking by your convictions?
Sticking by your convictions. I said that. That's convictions.
Yeah.
Amen, brother. Brother.
So why did you post that exactly? What premeditated the?
I don't remember. It was yesterday.
What?
So much has gone on in the last 24 hours, so it's like, but yeah, I can't remember what exactly it was. I was thinking of when I came up with it, but I think it was about tribalism versus standing
said-
on your conviction.
So you brought up tribalism, I think, the other day too. Are you a supporter of tribalism? Because
Not
you
if
know
my
what
tribe does something I'm against.
well, let's not assume that.
Well, no, I mean that's what it is. That's my whole thing. That's why I don't join political parties. That's why I don't join a denomination. I don't join things that unless I agree with everything at all times of that thing. It's like if they veer off on and do something else or support someone else or whatever it is, and I don't agree with that, dude, that's where you get all these people that they'll vote for Joe Biden. I guarantee you 5 years ago, nobody wanted to vote for Joe Biden. Not a single human being in this country wanted to vote for Joe Biden.
You don't believe the election was
tribalism-
real, do you?
No, of course not. But
Okay.
I believe people voted for him and are going to vote for him again. And they're going to do it not out of their convictions. They're going to do it out of their tribalism.
Yeah.
It's the same thing on the
I'm
right.
okay with
Left,
tribalism.
right, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm completely okay with it. Humans are designed to be tribalistic no matter what. It's like it's in your subconscious.
I mean, racism is tribalism, dude.
And taught. You know what I'm saying?
All tribalism is taught. You know,
I agree.
the target of the tribalism is what's taught. You know, like racism or
Matt.
you know.
Matt Carlson.
Matt Caution.
I guess my question is this: go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to read March Harrod. Mike wouldn't join my book club because we were reading Are You There, God? Me, Margaret. It's a joke, but I don't get it. Sorry.
No, man.
Do you want me to share this, Seven?
If you want to.
Create intellectual properties of your own. Break out of the tribe. Make money with flash art and popularity. The quality and depth will attract normal people who aren't part of your tribe.
Interesting.
Seven's so smart sometimes.
Well, wouldn't you be bringing individuals into your tribe by that philosophy?
Well,
so therefore being a tribe?
Yeah, so I kind of made this argument with John today. Is like he was saying that that the people on the left, they're never going to support your stuff and blah blah blah. And it's like, well, yeah, you're never going to reach the people who are completely antithetical to your worldview. But the people on the left, that's at tops 30% of the population, because 30% of them are people on the right, and 30% of them are people in the middle. So what you're trying to do is reach the people who have open minds, who aren't already tribalistic against you, and you want to convince them that you have the better content, you have the better intellectual properties, you have more entertaining stuff, because it comes from a worldview that actually makes sense and isn't built on trans whatever
insanity.
Crap. Yeah.
In another world, 7 of 9 would try to get us to join his gay tribe.
I don't have a gay tribe. Gay people are weird.
Well, I mean, that basically Mike was just basically talking about someone like myself. I mean, like that's what I was saying earlier. Like if we were to sit down 20 years ago before all this insanity happened and we're talking kitchen table politics, you'd probably all be yelling at me because we'd all disagree. I would disagree.
I don't know.
With a
I
lot
accidentally voted for Obama. So,
oops.
But that's when I was that was when I worked in politics. Like I used to work as a pollster, and I was a manager pollster in Virginia Beach. So I was always around like all these ladies that ran all the top echelon of the machines, and they're all leftists, and the judges and the guys who come in that would count all the votes that came out of the tabulators and all that. They were all working for Democrats and all that. So that's just what I was surrounded with. And I feel I changed dramatically in my perspective. I was propagandized, I would say.
Well, that's why I like going, and people go, why do you go on JDA's show? I was like, I like being like the outcast, like not in a that way, but it's like I feel like if anything, I'm not going to change anybody's mind, but I keep people on their toes if I actually do like bring up a counterpoint to theirs, right? Like a bunch of Christian conservatives, and here's the pagan liberal.
Yeah, but you're a centrist fence sitter, so
I'm not really a fence sitter, though. Yeah.
Where is the conviction in sitting on a fence?
The whole fence sitting thing, it was a meme made up by Testify.
I know.
Yeah. All right, where's my other one? Here we go.
I just leaned into it.
All right, now, how about this one? I'll read it. You can make money selling merchandise to your tribe. I know it was the one you were quoting. And that is good for you. But to change culture, you must create intellectual properties that reach people outside your tribe. The goal is culture, not cash, with the caveat that if your goal is cash, disregard my statement.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think this is one of the points I was trying to make earlier about corporatism. Like they've with that change in the early 2000s, they've essentially usurped every single avenue of entertainment, writing of laws, and then the distribution that would match the entertainment and the writing of laws to impress upon their ideas with money. And
Really quick, Cider, could you tell Risey who came up with the fence sitter moniker?
Where nice, blame the man who can't call your lie. No, it was testified they call him a fence sitter because which person? It was Jedi Bill. You wouldn't join in with fucking with Jedi Bill, right? Because he was one of your guys, right?
Language, yeah. His kids are in
Oh,
the
sorry,
back, yeah.
freaking.
But
my
yeah,
bad.
yeah. He, I said, listen, I'm neutral in all this. He goes, neutral, you're a fence sitter.
Yeah, it was just that quick. It was like starting a lawnmower, man. Just one crank, and he was away with that. You know, that's it.
well, he was a very good
Provocateur.
yeah, he was
went
a
to
good
school for it.
radio show host.
Yeah.
You know
If
what I mean?
everybody
He was
remembers,
Just a
I was
crap
the new.
thrower, dude. He just threw
Yeah.
crap to see what would stick.
My own personal
But that-
thing was I was
he was-
the neutral guy. That's why I even have a show called Neutral Ground.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So Testify could be on there. March Harris says, so are you and Malin cool again?
True.
Just curious. If not, I'm not trying to stir anything up. I'll be cool with Malin as soon as he comes and apologizes to me.
What would
So that's
he
a no.
apologize to you
What?
for, though?
Are you kidding?
Well, I think both of y'all handled it irrationally.
Yeah, that's why.
He spent
You
like
know, but I
two
think
solid
John-
weeks making videos to turn my audience against me.
But I think
He
John.
spent
That's not what
2
friends
1
do.
hour live streams going
See,
Well,
I
through that.
feel
that's
like
what
those
he is.
videos
He's
came
doing
after
that.
your falling out, though, Mike. If I'm remember, I don't
No,
want to
it wasn't.
contest your.
No, it wasn't because he was still on Drawn and Quartered, and he was doing it to bring people to Drawn and Quartered. He says, but
Well-
in order to do that, he was just telling people that I was calling Comicsgate a cult and trying to turn Comicsgate against me.
What is that there?
How is that friendship?
I
That's freaking vile. That's forget it.
no, it's fine. Whatever.
I
You
don't
can
wanna
say
drag
what you
that
want.
up. I don't
think
even wanna
just
talk about
forget it. He had okay, sorry, but I think John has like a way that he does his
Malin's the killer.
like what he's doing with Kelsey now. You know what I mean? It's not just
It's
like something that
kayfabe.
he does with you.
That
It's,
ain't kayfabe, bruh.
John,
what?
That ain't kayfabe.
behind you.
Problematic Kelsey.
Yeah, I know.
Not
I
kayfabe.
know.
Uh,
But that
what happened?
gets people to his tribe, right? You know what I mean? Like,
Does John
Is
have
that-
conviction?
Is that the goal? You just want people to blindly follow you and ignore that you've liked this other person for years and now it's like, oh, but no, now that guy says he doesn't want to be on your show, so I'm gonna hate him because blah blah. That's so stupid.
All right, well, back to your post here. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So, what if your intent, overall intent, is to do what you're saying here? You know, build culture, make things that
It's from Brian.
that reach out to people outside the quote unquote tribe. But every now and then, you just kind of like, you know, throw a bone to make a couple of bucks. Because I know we this is obviously
Okay,
about the
maybe I
cover,
missed.
right?
I'm maybe I'm not clear in this. I'm not saying that creating stuff and selling it to your tribe is bad. If the stuff you're creating, I think more the point I'm making is that the intellectual properties have to reach the people outside your tribe because of the quality of what you're doing.
Right.
Right? It's like I'm not going to name because there's all kinds of people in this space. They're creating what I consider subpar entertainment and making lots of money selling it to their tribes, to their tribe.
Ooh.
yeah.
That's kind of what twists my nipples. It's freaking.
Not everyone's going to be, like I said this earlier,
but
not
I'm just
everyone's
saying-
going to
I'm
be
saying, dude, it's
on the
like
same level.
the stuff that changes culture is the stuff that reaches into the zeitgeist, and it can't do that unless the quality of the intellectual property of the writing, the originality, the hook, the stuff that you drop that in front of a producer and they say,
Right.
how much do you want for this?
It-
Right? They
it
don't
can't
look at it.
change
"Oh,
the
these are
culture
pretty
if it
pictures."
doesn't strike a
It has
nerve.
no story. right? You know what I'm saying? What were you saying, Seven?
It can't change a culture if it doesn't strike a nerve. If it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
touch something,
Yeah, that's kind
then
of the
it's just-
conversation I wanted to get
it's
started.
pretty noise. What did you call it? It's good for you to change culture. Oh, it was like flashy pictures. If it doesn't touch a nerve, it's just flashy pictures.
Yeah, Aaron
that-
says, "Can I have both?" I said that could be not. That would be
Yeah,
nice.
I said the same thing earlier about how it extends
It
back
means-
to all the way to the beginning of poetry, art, and all that jazz. Like, so
But I would say like this, right? Like, so Lone Star would be like the IP that you were creating, right? To try to do that, correct?
Yeah,
But Magnificent Seven was like a fun thing to do,
yeah, it's
And
a fun troll.
specifically,
basically.
specifically aimed at your quote unquote tribe, right?
Yeah,
So
well,
that,
You know,
politically,
Yeah.
yeah, you could say that. But I was trying to grow my audience by reaching into the political sphere. But yes,
Uh-huh.
if you're talking tribalistically, as in conservatives, yeah.
yeah. So I would say that's fine. Like, you know, if every single thing you do is that could be probably
Why is it
just
going after
you know spinning your wheels in place. But
Yeah, it would be like I got a buddy who he did this one comic book, and some of you may know who I'm talking about. I'm just not gonna name it because he does one comic book and he does different covers on it for like each convention. And it's like he's just reprinting the same comic book over and over again with new covers
Snowman?
because he's making money. Because it's just about making money. It's not even a grift. He's creating collectibles for a particular market and they're buying it. And I'm like, that's great, but I'm so far beyond wanting to make money. I mean, I want to make money. Don't get me wrong. Making
Right.
money is great. Paying the mortgage is awesome. But I want to make a change. I want stuff to matter. And
I want to do
I
both.
just feel like, yeah, it just feels like
Good luck.
people aren't producing the kind of stuff that's gonna matter. And then like when people criticize it, like they get teamed up on and bashed and whatever. And I'm not even like that's why I'm not even gonna name any names. I just wish that people knew enough to put a better foot forward when they're producing stuff that's supposed to be fighting the freaking culture war.
I'm with that. I
Well, I mean,
am
I don't-
sharing my screen on purpose.
and I don't think everyone has
There we go.
as an ambitious message as you just expressed.
That's
So
cool.
like you're hitting.
Yeah, just
know what I
I mean,
mean?
like most of us came into this with the idea of fighting the culture war.
So-
And then,
sorry, I didn't
and
mean
then
to chew
produce
into the.
produce
I
direct
didn't
to
mean-
sell to the tribe instead.
I didn't mean to chew into the mic. I thought I muted. Sorry.
No, you're good, man. ASMR, it's good. But yeah, no, this is why I created Star Supreme. I took quite a few slings and arrows for making her an adoptive single mother. But this is what I predict to be the future. In 2050, the majority of children will be born to single mothers. Almost 38% of American children today are born to single mothers. You think that's going to get better before 2050? I don't.
I hope
The
so.
politics I programmed into Star Supreme were about making motherhood look cool while you can be a superhero at the same time. So this is a superhero that saves the day, but is also home for dinner with her kids. I don't write her in a way that she has to compete with her superhero-ness and her children. What I show, like girls of the future, is a mother that can do it all. She can do it all. She's not stretched to the limit where she can't do it, and the children are suffering because she's not there for them. She brings them on the adventures, but I don't write them into situations where they could possibly die. This is the mistake that a lot of these modern creators get into, is for the sake of action, they're sacrificing the message behind everything. Johnny Quest, in reality, got into a lot of crazy stuff, but Race Bannon and Dr. Quest rescued them. Most of the time, Johnny and Haji got out of it by themselves. But this story was about family and these guys getting along together and their fractured little hobbled together 4-man group family existing on this constant adventure thing. And I based some of that with the Colossals. Star Supreme is here with her son Isaac. He's a little boy robot. He has the soul of a boy trapped in a boy robot suit. He can't smile. He has a faceplate, no lips, because it really creeped me out when Optimus had a mouth in Transformers. That bothered me.
I know.
It's like, So anyway, robot
Me
mouths
too.
are just weird. I don't like it.
It
Yeah, but
bothered me
everybody
too.
else had him,
So-
right? Everybody else
Yeah.
had him, but you didn't want to see it on Optimus.
You know, it really was unsettling. It really was. So she takes him into the bathroom off the kitchen there. As you can see here, they're in the bathroom, towel behind him, brick, little flowers, fancy mirror. And she's taken a magic marker and she's drawn a smile on his face. So he can smile like the other kids. And these teeny tiny little things.
Like
There's a little bit
moment
of story behind
shots.
this one. So you have Star Supreme with her daughter, Shadow Spinner. Now, Shadow Spinner has a very complicated story, but she's basically a mutant that eats dark magic, and she has giant spider legs coming out of her back, like size appropriate spider legs coming out of her back. But she was a feral human when Star Supreme adopted her. And the only way to get her to come inside for her first bath was to lure her with milkshakes and garlic knots down out of the barn rafters. Because she grew up in a catacomb being fed human remains by her grandfather, who disposed of his torture victims by like giving her the remains as food. And so she was completely feral when Star Supreme adopted her. And the only way to get her down out of there. So here she is, very sociable, obviously domesticated, if you will, daughter. And she's eaten too many garlic knots. And that's what the scene is she has a stomach ache. And Star Supreme is just taking her temperature, being a kind of a loving, attentive mother. That's
That
it.
wheat, dude. She should have stayed on the carnivore diet.
Yeah, right. Well, maybe not the cannibalist carnivore diet anyway. But this is what I create. I am fighting the culture war, because as much as you want to fix men, you've also got to show women what this looks like. Because again, the way I predict it, men and women won't be talking to each other by 2050. You take a look at how the high school kids are graduating today, right? They're split. Boys are going to the right, girls are going to the left. There's barely.
How are they going to have babies?
Well, exactly. So they're not going to talk to each other. So you have, as much as you want to show a masculine man and to these young guys, you have to show a feminine woman who also has strength. She can't be like this dainty cheerleader thing that just gets blown over at the first sign of trouble, because that's not the women that these girls are going to have around them. They're going to have
Can't be
these
a Mary
forced-
Sue either.
They're going to have
Exactly.
women with penises.
Well, some of them, sure. I don't address that in my books. I don't get into that because it's just too much of a mess. But what I do with this is I present to them a woman that has the strength to change the world. She instead chooses to live on a homestead in Maine, because I borrow that from Superman. I like the humble god. I like the Superman that's pounding fence posts into the ground in Smallville, Kansas, as opposed to sitting on a throne in New York. I like the hometown hero that still shows up to the bake-offs to present the blue ribbon to the best tasting pie in town. I like that hero. That's who Star Supreme is. She shows up to these events. She's at the parades, but she's not telling you how to vote. She's not telling you to punish men for the ills of the world. She's simply demonstrating a functional member of society that takes responsibilities for the things she's brought on herself. That's it.
She looks great. Who's the artist?
This is Doodlebags, and this is a person, I forget who they are. They're down south. The book I put out was done by Leandro Pagani-Bon. These are just promotional pieces I had done to illustrate who she is.
Well, my book is going to be very tribal, and the women are going to be very vicious.
Okay.
You're making a book, J Dollar?
Yeah.
Show your pictures, J Dollar.
Prove it.
What?
That's good, Cider. No, I mean that's kind of what the point I was making. It's you have to have stories that mean something, right? If it doesn't mean something, then
What are you doing?
what
What's
are
the
you
point?
doing? Exactly.
Like I did this with all the heroes. Like I got this banner I put out of the Colossals, if I can find it. Miracle banner here.
I'll tell you the moment in my career that I'm most humbled by is it had nothing to do with my art. It was my book Imaginaries. I made my book Imaginaries 15, 16 years ago, and a kid came up to me at a convention and he asked me, he's like, "Are you Mike Miller?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Did you write Imaginaries?" I'm like, "Oh, I created it and I co-wrote it with Ben Avery." And the kid choked up and he couldn't even talk to me. And he just said, "I'll be back tomorrow." and he like disappeared. I was like, okay, that was weird. He comes back the next day. He had bought like a freaking Hallmark card and wrote a stinking like huge long letter in it to me, telling me how much that story had meant to him, because my main character was the child of divorce, and it was like how he dealt with, like, he rejected his childhood. That's how Superhero G ends up in the imagination, and it's all integral to that story about how, because I'm a child of divorce, and so that's how, you're trying to express that message of how kids are devastated by that and how they deal with it in these different ways. And so that to me was the thing that humbled me, was that I'd done something with my talent that God gave me and helped a kid, and it was entertainment, but it freaking reached a kid and it helped him through the most difficult thing he'd been through in his life, which is, his parents splitting up. So it was like, no, it wasn't Twitless, and it wasn't a Make-A-Wish kid. Thanks for making a joke of the proud, not proud, the most humbling moment in my life. Thank you. But that's the kind of stuff that I would want more of in more than I'd want, $1 million royalty checks, is I want to make a difference in people's lives and ultimately change culture for the greater scheme.
I mean, I got to live a little bit of that. I left a copy of the Colossals, a couple of them, at my weed dispensary that I buy from. Now, I buy from a medical place. There's nobody getting ripped in the parking lot. There's not that weird tie-dye up on the walls. It is all medicine. People with cancer buy from here. There's upstanding members of society come and go. And so there's a kids corner that's separate from all of the paraphernalia and things like that. And so it was over there, and a little kid was reading it with his father, picked up the Colossals and was reading that with his father. And he couldn't read some of the words because, again, like Stan Lee said, you shouldn't write for children. You should put this higher level language in there and these higher level concepts in your comics.
Yeah.
And so the some of the wording, some of the concepts were over his little 8-year-old head. But the owner was telling me that he was just glued into it, and it was time to go. He didn't want to give the comic back. So the owner said, that's okay. The guy who made those said anybody could take one. You go ahead and take that home with you. So somewhere out in my local area, there's a little kid that has a copy of the Colossals somewhere in his house. And I don't care if he ever reads it again. That just made my entire, that was exactly why I did this. So that a kid would pick that up and read it and want to read it and need his help from his parents. So his parents looked at it too. It wasn't something he kept stashed under his bed because it was like gory or there were boobs in it or anything. It was something he could sit down and the parents would be like, this is having a positive effect on my kid. Where do I get more?
Yeah, no, that's cool. Right now, obviously, like Pariah is a mature readers only. Lightbringer would, I guess, be like young adult, teen. But I want to get to a point where, there's a book out there for that I'm involved with somehow that's for a kid, that a kid could pick up, and I have no fear of like repercussions or anything,
Yeah. Yep.
Mike, I'm sharing an image.
J Dollar.
All right, so there's one.
He looks like a Norse god.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's one. All right, here's another.
Light work.
So mine is completely like religious based from 3 different perspectives of religion.
I don't remember.
And the acronym that I have for the book is wonderful. And I can show you.
Wait, the acronym is actually the word wonderful?
Yeah, because I was
No.
Oh, I was like, a long acronym.
Wow, a lot of work.
It is actually wonderful. And here's one right now that I'm doing. Because so it's like a like pagan style, and then you're gonna have an Egyptian style, and you're also gonna have a Middle Eastern Abrahamic style. And here's a piece that I'm doing right now. Here's another screenshot. It's a crotch demon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty nice.
A crotch demon?
Yeah. It's really not, but it's in her waist. And then I'll show what I've done so far with that one.
Oh, as he
Who's
stands
drawing
up.
No, I have to, I'm not
You
finished
muted,
with
Mike.
it yet. And then, so here's where I'm at so far with her.
Are you drawing that, Gay Dollar?
Yeah, bitch. I mean, yes, sir.
Nice.
It's almost, I still got to do the background. And then, here's another one.
I didn't even know you could draw, dude.
I mean, I can kind of draw.
I can draw.
Better
I
than
just
Mike's.
don't tell nobody.
Yeah, she's beefy as shit.
Language.
And then here's another one.
Heck.
I mean, yeah, she's beefy as heck.
Right. The audience seems to dig. This is a preemptive promo stream, apparently, for things coming out in the
Yeah.
future.
When do you anticipate launching it?
So I still have a whole lot more character designs. I'm finishing. I have
For
to
tomorrow?
do. Gosh, no. So for this team with the female you saw, I still have to do like 3 more, and then I'm going. Hopefully by the end of the year, I'll have the last 5 done. So I'm doing all the character designs myself, and then tweaks and all that can come into the future when more conversations are had with folks. So
You got a script, an outline?
yes, definitely. Well, I don't have a script, but definitely an outline and lots of scripting. That's for sure.
Please write your actual script before you draw it.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't want to do like what I've heard, like what Ethan does, and some other
That's-
people have approached it. I definitely want to.
Yeah, no offense to Ethan, but that's moronic.
Well,
That's
I think
oh my
it's
gosh,
if you're
dude.
building
Making
like
it up as you go along.
yeah, like
When you're
well, he has figured out that niche. Totally fine.
no, he hasn't. If he had figured out that niche, he
He's been
wouldn't
doing
have
it for 30 years.
so many pages that he had to cut out of the book to make it make sense.
Right.
That's not figuring it
I
out.
see.
That's
It's like a waste
wasting
of time, I
months
suppose.
and months of time that he could have,
Yeah.
delivered early. Just
But
freaking
doesn't
write
he
your
cut
story.
those up and like put them in like separate scenes? Like
No, he
Salamander
made it up as he
Death
went
Thing
along,
didn't-
and then he had to cut it out because it didn't
Yeah.
work in the story. See, that's the thing, is that Ethan's not a writer. I don't think he's written anything since 1997, right? And he's been working with other writers this whole time, but he just needs to sit down, read a couple of books on writing, and figure this out before he starts the next one. He'll save himself probably 6 months on the next book if he just did that.
If only he would listen to you.
He doesn't listen to me until he suddenly does listen to me and then says it's his own idea, because that's what he.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, Xander.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mentioned this this guy over
Wait,
on
Bill.
Well Red's stream. This is the Christian character that works for the devil, but is still a devout Christian. What he's doing is he's a bounty hunter for the devil that eliminates people who sold their soul to the demon king Baal. So he's taking out truly evil people. Because I'm not writing gray area evil for this. If you sell your soul to the demon king Baal, you're doing it for awful, horrible,
you were duped?
Epstein Island horrible things. You know? And so that's what Razor does. Chiefly is what I send him around doing is obliterating pedophiles, immortal pedophiles, and dragging their souls to hell for eternal damnation. So this is what I do. So the motto for Razor is if God's will be done by the devil, so be it.
Sort of permissive will.
Well, it's the way I have it set up is that Razor, as a 12-year-old, he sold his soul to the devil for ultimate vengeance on the human traffickers that killed his sister trying to kidnap her.
Ah.
And so he was trapped into this in a moment of intense fear and violence. He had no really long-term plan as a 12-year-old.
You read
And
too
so-
much manga.
Well, I wanted to create a character that kind of mirrored what happened to me. To keep it short, a girl that my parents were trying to adopt was adopted by another family who abused her.
Oh,
And
man.
I met her 19 years later after I spent those 19 years trying to find her. And the last time I saw her for 19 years was when I was 6 years old. And she was taken by men who came in like one of those transport vans. It was a dark blue van. These guys went into her foster house, brought her out by her ankles and her wrists. And the last thing she said to me before they shut the door in my face was, "Don't let them take me." And those are the last words that Razor's sister says to him before he asked the Demon King Baal to give him the power of ultimate vengeance. And he shreds those traffickers. I'm talking like little 12-year-old human blender. There is not even DNA left over of these guys.
So you're saying this happened to you?
What, that I sold my
Later.
soul to the devil? No.
No,
This girl was
Before
taken
that.
from me when I was a little kid. Yeah, it of course it stuck with me, you know. She was
The
going to
only
be my
thing that
sister.
I've ever had catastrophic that happened to me is I was at a birthday party, and it was my friend Steven's parents' birthday, and while all that was going on, the father was molesting Steven's sister while we were watching The Wizard of Oz.
Wow, this stream's
And,
getting really cheerful.
Yeah, and then that's the only thing that I've ever experienced in any, and it was it was the craziest thing. And then that's the first person I ever seen to get arrested. And then like 4 or 5 days later, when he's posted bail or whatever, he's back in the house. And
Dang.
my mom stopped letting me go over there. She's like, "You can't go over there no more." So,
Gee, yeah, you think?
yeah, she is. That's South Carolina, bro. That's a bunch of rednecks.
See, the way I dealt with my problem, though, J Dollar, is I created this hero to stop the van that took the girl that would be my sister.
Yeah.
Razor would stop that van. A little 6-year-old me, I had no power. I was a little tiny guy. All I could do was like, "Hey, cut that out," and then they were gone. But Razor, you know, it'd stop that van, take those guys out, and that girl wouldn't have gone through all that, and she would have been my sister. So everything would have been
Crazy
okay.
world.
Yep. But that's what I do is I turn my demons into angels, and that's what I recommend people do. If they want to put politics into it, put yours. Put your lived experience politics in it, not the stuff you idolize on Twitter. Your lived experience.
Mine's going to be my lived experiences
Talk
of
about divorce
learning
in this.
about religion.
All right.
What's this?
So on a higher note, here's the Afar. This is the wordless Bible project that I'm currently working on.
Yeah.
It's going to have a pretty grim climax, but
Well, you know. Spoiler alert.
spoiler alert. Yeah, this is the gospel, synoptic gospel story from John 1 to the ascension of Christ. So it starts with God in heaven and ends with Jesus in heaven. And then it's the whole story in between, all told without words, so that any human being with eyeballs on the planet who's capable of following a story. Yeah, because it's
It's a
targeted
pretty
for
heavy
children.
story to be.
Yeah, and I try to bring humor to it, and it's
Humor
the
to the
adorable
Passion of
Bible,
Christ.
right? I just did the scene where John the Baptist gets beheaded, so I'll get there in a second. But that's what I've been working on for the past few weeks. I probably have
Independently or for somebody else?
3 or 4 weeks to go. No, I started this like 8 years ago, just on my own, because it was the vision of I had this vision. Not, I don't want to say like, God gave me a vision.
Right.
I like a vision,
Burning bush
envisioned
or
this
anything.
thing when I was at church of like Jesus being
bush.
perfect and clean, and everyone else being covered in mud, as their sin is like a visual. They're covered in mud. And then when Christ is crucified, all of the mud comes off of the people and collects onto Jesus on the cross.
Oh, that's cool.
Until he dies and it falls off, because that's how he pays for the sin. But it's a visualization. And so I started it this way because I was doing sort of cartoony stuff at the time. And it's funny because people like
to the bit.
Yeah. So for like 90% of this book, people are going to be like, why is everybody covered in mud?
I like how you put the Bible verses in the lower right corner.
Yeah, I was talking to Adam Post about it. He saw it and he was thinking maybe I should put just the whole Bible verses underneath it, which I'm not 100% sold on.
Wordless.
But yeah.
Right.
So this is him calling.
But no,
Lazarus
I mean, they can go look it up themselves, whatever Bible verse it is, and say, "Oh, okay, I see."
Right. And hopefully, you guys remember the scene in Amistad when Jaimin Hunsu's character is looking through the pictures in the Bible and gets the gospel story? Like he's in court and he's got the Bible. He doesn't speak English. He doesn't read English, but he's got a Bible and it's got those Dore illustrations of Christ like doing good things and then like being accused and like being crucified and then rising from the dead. And he's like flipping through these pictures, explaining that to the guy next to him. He's like, I think this was a good man. And then he was, they killed him for no reason. And then he came back to life. And I think he said, like, I think this is God. Right. So it's like that kind of a thing where it's like, you can tell the entire story through pictures and, could very, very well touch, like I said, touching people's lives. That's what's most important. So this is what I'm dedicating my time to.
I gotta say, there's a lot more emotion in these images I'm looking at than in a lot of your others.
Well,
I'm not just talking about on the faces, but the way they're laid out, the composition of them. It's, I don't know.
I'm all for you targeting Rachel.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Go look at the pigs.
They didn't watch Amistad, Mike. I did. I remember. All right. I like this one. I like the demons come out.
Don't eat pigs.
Well, see, the Jews weren't supposed to be farming these pigs, right? They're not supposed to be raising pigs, but they were. So,
what are they doing with them if they weren't eating them?
Exactly.
Them,
what were they doing?
Money.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So this is King Herod.
Happy birthday! And, snuck in a word there.
Salome. Okay, there's a few words here and there.
All right.
Right. But they're not. It's not like you should be able to get it. So there's Salome dancing, and then Herod's like, and offers her a gift, and she wants the head of John the Baptist, and then he gets bummed and sends him to go. And this is as dark as I get, right?
Oh.
And then the next page is the guys that come to tell Jesus. And then Jesus goes off alone to be sad.
Do Revelations, but not in a cartoony style. That would be cool. If you did Revelations.
I'll do it for you.
Cartoon.
What do you mean this is heresy? How is any of this heresy?
It's not heresy.
It's Calvin and Hobbes heresy.
Give us free. Give us free. All right. So yeah, that's about what I'm working on. It's it was for myself. I have a buddy who's going to be like partnering with me on it because he works at this church and he's like connected to all these different ministries. And so what I want to do is be able to get, like, if you're a ministry or a missionary or something and you just want to give these away, I want to either be able to get them to you at cost or set up a donation thing so people who want to donate to their ministry could get these for them for free so that they could hand them out. But like if somebody wants it individually, then they can they can buy it from us, or if a retailer wants to buy it at wholesale, then they can buy it, because if they're going to make money, then I wouldn't mind paying the rent. Perth says, I'll take 1,000. Well, you have to be an actual ministry.
Wait a minute.
The idea is to spread the gospel, not to just give away free bucks. What is a German's least favorite martial art? Jiu-jitsu.
Ah, yes, that one.
I don't get it.
Well, you see, the Germans.
You don't have a "we'll be right back" button, do you?
I don't.
Yeah, you're gonna need to get one if you're gonna do that.
I have something close. You see, the Germans.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Close enough. Oh wait, which one of these is "Will you shut up"?
Progress. And this is some lovely filth there.
Not that one.
Shut up! Will you shut up? Ah, now we see.
There it is.
Who picked this game?
All right, I'll shut up. So yeah, that's what I'm up to.
That looks cool, Mike.
Anthony, that door looks like it's opening wrong. Is that door in proper perspective?
No,
Yeah. I
Probably
think
not.
so.
you need some help there, Anthony.
No.
Yes, you
I'm
do.
having, you know what? I'm having trouble with the.
Do add perspective lines and
prison ball.
have your perspective
I
run
had
from
it
that
and
top
then I
left.
got rid of it, and I'm just being lazy.
Delete that door. Delete that whole wall. It's wrong.
Just select the door and pull the left corner up.
Yeah, I know.
I
I'm
know
thinking
you-
about. I'm wondering if I should do it on a whole other layer.
Little thing.
Probably.
Start it over. I would just start it over.
Just start from scratch, bro. Just start from scratch. It's all good. Oh, Cider's got more to show.
That's
Oh,
one
yeah.
of the things that I didn't realize I had such bad perspective on was shoulder angles and hip angles. Trying to nail that with like armor or exaggerated. Like I was talking to Joe Ball about it, and he was saying that's one reason why like certain comic book artists will have like that Wolverine pose where they're looking right at you and their hands are kind of like leaned back in a way.
Congrats, Rachel. You're doing so good.
That's quite difficult to
Who are these people, Cider?
master.
So Mike, you like your controversy. You like your controversial
What, me?
comics. Yeah, a little bit. Especially when it comes to good things, positivity. So this is my attempt to reel in the gays. Okay?
7, this is for you. Pay attention.
Well,
Oh, I thought he said Gates. I was trying to figure
the
that out.
gays. The gays.
With the gays, the
These two dogs-
homos.
The
These,
male ones
well-
or the female gays?
It's kind of meant for everybody, but the lesbians will probably get more out of it. But it's a
I see.
sexless romance, all right? It's a sexless
Oh, the
romance, but what
lesbians
it's
will
supposed to
definitely
do,
get more out of it.
what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to emphasize love, and that's something that's totally absent in today's LGBTQ market. I know because I have a few friends that are on the opposite side of the track on this stuff. Now, I can speak openly about this because the artist that did this, he passed away in 2020 in an earthquake over in
that's horrible.
Indonesia. And so his plan, what we were working on is we wanted to create
Indonesian?
this book. Yeah, he was an Indonesian guy, extremely talented. His name was Shalif. He was a really great guy. But he went to a celebration. I believe it was called Eid, E-I-D, Islam, Eid, I think it's called. It's a summer celebration. And he went, and there was it's like a mid-sized earthquake that wiped out the park he was at. And that was the last time I heard from him. So what we were doing was we were working on a book to reel in this fanatic obsession with sex. What this was supposed to do was take not necessarily relatable characters in the sense that you can bump into these characters, but it took the epic romance thing and it just divorced it of all the forbidden love thing, of the whole, this is taboo, this is wrong,
Two gals
that
dating,
kind of thing.
getting to know each other, courting each
But it's a little bit more than that. So I'll get into this right now. So what you're looking at is Vesper and Starla. It's Captain Vesper Barnes in the front and Starla Knight in the background. Now,
Okay.
Vesper is a World War II fighter pilot. Now, she was a WASP. That was the Women's Air Service Pilots, the real deal that existed during World War II. And they were in charge of transporting planes.
She also a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
Yes. Also, she does look like one of those two. Those kind of.
Well, she's the daughter of one. So
great.
So what Vesper's life is basically like is she was born in Nebraska and she was the only child. Her mother could only have one child. They kept trying to have babies. They never did again.
Aw.
So the father, frustrated with the daughter, did his best with her. He nicknamed her Pip and he taught her how to fly. He was a crop duster who bought a biplane after being a pilot in World War I and made a business out of it. So that's how she learned how to fly. So what her thing is that in the future, they don't have the ability to critically think in the sense of like they can do science experiments, but when they run into like a moment of conflict, when they have to battle, do some type of physical conflict, it doesn't exist because she ends up being transported to the year 5000. So what happens in this distant future is that a time bomb has literally gone off. So in the future, time is collapsing backwards. And this group called Quantum Control, it's right there, QCon on her chest. Quantum Control has reached into the past and brought her forward because she had a great flying record, and pulling her out of time causes nothing to change about the future. That's
Right, 'cause
her
it's already
story is
fucked
called.
up. You might as well yank a skilled pilot from the past and ask her to help you fight your war.
So here's the twist.
Or fight the whole time collapse, because eventually it's going to reach her in the past.
Exactly, because time itself is being destroyed. So here's the twist. Vesper was married on the shores of Hawaii before it was made into a state. She was married to her she met this girl during flight training. Janie, oh man, I forget her last name now. But anyway, Janie died in a dogfight. And that made Vesper very depressed and so on and so forth. So when she was taken to the future, she was comfortable with this suicide mission that she was assigned to find out where the time bomb was set off and disable it before it goes off, right? So in the process of collecting these things, collecting clues on this, she runs across Starla, all right? Now, Starla is the reincarnation of Janie.
Her. Of who? Oh, her.
Of Janie, of Vesper's wife. She's the reincarnation. So 5,000 years into the future, they're reunited when Vesper hears Janie's voice coming out of Starla's face. And the two of them reconnect. So the story is about Vesper letting go of Janie and accepting Starla, not forcing Janie's identity onto Starla. Saying, oh, you're the reincarnation, so you're just a carbon copy. Everything that I loved about Janie is in you, which is not the case. The two of them have this conflict over who Starla is and what's
really
right. And so they
kind of excuse me.
And so they have this story that has nothing to do with sex. They're not naked. They're not feeling each other up. They're not doing this taboo forbidden love thing. They're this star-crossed, spread out romance that's supposed to
time-crossed.
Yeah, this time-crossed thing. But the denouement is that they meet this creator of their universe, and his name is the Star Hanger King. And he's destroying the universe using that time bomb because his wife died. And he cannot bear to view the universe that he built with her without her by his side. So Vesper convinces him to live, having seen that love is eternal, that love will outlive you even, and you'll get a chance to experience it again if you're patient enough. And so that's the whole thing.
Oh,
that's it. Nothing to do with sex,
But
nothing to do with
put out the bomb.
protesting.
He can't unexplode the time bomb, can he?
Well, that's just it. If you stop it in the past, it doesn't go off in the future. The paradoxical time thing. It's not meant to be like real science. It uses anime logic. So, but this is as far as we got before he passed.
Yeah, they look
is
great.
page 1. So this is the introduction of the leap. And this is the headquarters
Cool.
of Quantum
That
Control.
is so cool.
Yep.
That looks great.
But it's one of those never be things, you know?
That's better.
But that's my
Marcus.
mission with
Better
that
door.
is I'm going to try and find an artist that can hopefully kind of match that or do better. And I want to pitch that to like young lesbians, and hopefully it'll spread to young gay men as well. I'm
Young,
not too good at
talented
writing gay
lesbians,
romance,
yeah.
but I just wanted to give
It's
them
not,
a story
it's not
that
gay for the sake of being gay. It's
Right,
just,
and it's not
a
in
really good
protest of
story
straight
where the main characters just happen to be gay. Or
right. That's it.
yeah.
And I believe
It's
that's how you
simple as
reel
that.
them in. It's how you reel them in without showing them being ostracized and forced out of
Right.
society. You show them
Right.
getting
Cider,
along and
reel them into what?
reel them back
The time
into
warp.
a space where they can exist like as your neighbors. There was a time when you didn't know people were gay. You could live next door to a gay couple and they were just two dudes who hung out all the time. You
Or that
didn't
you knew
know
and
that
didn't care.
Randy
Well,
and Todd were doing each other. You didn't know that Samantha and Lily were at it. They were just two roommates. They hung out with each other. This is what I'm trying to reel that back into because I see LGBT going into the church and trying to LGBT the church. I don't want that. I want LGBT to go to the church and say, okay, I'm 9 out of 10 compliances with God. How do I get 9.5 compliances with God? Rather than being like, oh, I got to convert God to me. You need to wear rainbow sashes. We need to have a pride day at
Yeah.
church. You know, none of that. I don't want that. That's what I'm
Conviction or
trying to
numbers.
reel them back into.
yeah.
It's just like,
Conviction or
you know, be
safety
an
in
American.
numbers.
Well, yeah, I want to reel them back into sanity, into this space where they're like, I'll just be your neighbor. I don't need to attack you because you don't believe the way I believe about sex.
Right.
The most
That's how most
intimate
people
thing
are.
that shouldn't be on the
Look, I
front
don't
lawn.
think most gay people are not like that. It's just a very vocal minority.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
at least the gay
But
people I
young
know aren't
people-
like that.
Look, you can go look it up right now. 20% of Zoomers identify as LGBT.
That
That's
whole
huge. That's a big
I know
number.
they're not-
That's
well,
that's
hold
a lot of
on.
People.
Hold on.
No,
they
they're,
may.
they're because they're saying they're they thems. That's not.
No, no, no,
that's
no, no,
just
no, 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 no.
vocal.
No, they're saying they're bisexual and gay. Do you
Yeah.
remember Queenie?
Although they're not actually attracted to the opposite sex. They're
Well,
just
you remember
putting
Queenie
that
on the
their
show?
thing to be.
She said she was a lesbian, right? You remember Queenie on the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, not a practicing lesbian, as it turns out. She met a nice guy in college. Turns out she's really straight and likes guys a lot. And guys are pretty neat, especially the guy that she's got. You
They
know?
have babies.
And
Did
so
they have babies.
what
together?
it is, well, what it is though is their media is showing them that gay is cool, gay is the way to go, gay straight is boring,
social
straight is
contagion.
normal.
It's
And so
not
that's
really-
why 20% of them identify this way is that they want to fit in. They want to be cool. They want to be on the trend, not actually participate in anything. Because when I asked Queenie, what makes you
Safety in
gay?
numbers.
She's like, I like boobs. She says, I like boobs. That's the only thing that made her gay was she liked boobs. But that's what they do now is they're like, oh, so you appreciate the female form? You're gay. You appreciate the male form? You're gay. That's
How
what they
old
do.
is she?
She's 20, 24 now? 22?
she's
24?
she's a
more than just thinking
Gen
about it.
whatever.
She's right in college, you know, right the prime age group of where this is being targeted on. And that's what it is. And that's what the purpose of this story is to remove all that protest and, oh, I'm going to get back at dad for not letting me kiss a girl in high school. This is to like address those true blue, like you're talking about, that non-vocal group of gay people that just want to be your neighbor. They just want to go to town, do their thing, and then come back and have a barbecue out back, you know, just like every other American. I know. I'm one of my very close, she's my best friend. I won't lie. My best friend is a Catholic lesbian. She's into heavy metal, but she's devout. She knows scripture, Catholic scripture, just bang,
Got a mask?
just like that. You know, she is real deal conforming with 9.5 out of 10 things that God wants her to conform with. And I
fix
can't
her.
argue with
I
that.
can make her a Protestant.
Well, you know, but that's just the way it is, you know, is that, and this is what that story is
Seven
supposed to address, you know? And I'm sorry that I'm like over talking, but it's one of those things that's like, I don't really want to admit that I'm writing gay fiction, but I'm trying to make sure that there's some example of like how to behave as a normal
Do you
American.
plan on like romantic scenes, sex scenes?
No, not at all. None. Zero. None of that.
They won't even
There will
kiss
be
each
one
other?
kissing at the end.
Just one at the end.
Yep, the victory kiss.
Oh,
Oh, like in Star Wars.
Yep, that's it. But it's not her sister.
Bro.
That's it.
Sister.
Yeah.
Yeah,
ooh,
the Leia. When Leia kisses Luke.
Luke kissing Leia.
No. The lesbians kissing in The Last Jedi.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that. Yeah. I've tried to bleach that out of my brain. But that's what it is that I'm trying to like show that you can just be, gay. It doesn't have to be like this protest, this war,
What do you
this
think of Anthony's new door? Dark Gift's new door. Is that better than the first one he tried?
Yes. Good
Or
job,
it
Anthony.
gets better.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what. Well, I was like I said, I was being lazy trying to fix it.
And you took $8 advice and put the perspective lines in there?
Yeah, like I said, I had them earlier, and that's how I got like the crossbars on the prison, quote unquote, wall. But then I deleted the layer, and then I realized I was not right, and I was like, oh, I can fix it without redoing it that way, and I couldn't.
Who's the girl? Dark Gift, who is that girl?
That is Alice.
Girl running
Well, Agent Verily Wingate, aka
There
Alice.
she is.
Yeah, they changed the price.
She looks sporty.
Virtual inflation.
And she's an FBI agent.
Oh, okay.
So do you do this on a tablet to your screen?
Let's see, parallax.
Or are you drawing on like one of the black pads?
Photoshop, isn't it?
It's Clip.
Oh, it's Clip.
Oh,
haven't
yeah,
used
no,
Photoshop.
this is a Huion screen.
Ah, gotcha.
Man, my freaking iPad has been glitching out so much lately. It's been driving me apoplectic.
I see two parallax, where the swoop of her coat goes into her belt line or her waistline on both sides. It kind of meets her shirt. Almost on the same. You see what I'm saying?
Well, this side's supposed to be higher.
Huh?
Like if I was to draw it straight through. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, with the corners of her shirt, they. Yeah.
Is she running towards us?
Kind of.
That's a good line.
You got a long neck.
Curve a little lower.
Anthony, is she running
Makes
towards
it a
us?
longer coat, though.
Kinda. Yeah, why?
Is her right arm supposed to be extended forward? Or back? If she's running towards us, you've got her right leg going forward. Her right arm should be going back.
Right.
Hmm.
I have them on the same plane.
Yeah. Erase it. Start over.
Actually,
Redraw
just
everything.
erase the folds in her coat and
Mhm.
curve them the other way, so it looks like her arm's going backwards. It'll probably be enough.
Let me get rid of this line real quick.
Probably. Not financial advice.
I'm sorry. The fold.
Hold on. Let me. Where's YouTube on this thing?
Oh,
Who's that girl?
should I have it coming in front of the hand? Is what you're saying?
Hold on. I'll just do a quick redraw.
And the hips, because the leg is opposite to what the arm would be doing in the motion of a run.
Say that one more time. The beginning part. I got the last part. Or don't.
Hold on.
And her cleavage. Fix her cleavage. Why don't you?
You guys are terrible.
I'm leaving her cleavage.
Okay.
I mean, the easiest way. Let me share
Mike,
this.
are you really redrawing this?
I'm just adding
That's no
the curves that I'm talking about. Share JPEG. I'll just drop it in my Discord.
What's on the right? What's on that hand that's reaching out? Are you going to give anything away if you show that part? There she is. There she is. Look.
Yeah, these are just
Oh,
layouts.
that's cool. That looks cool.
Going into detail now.
All right. See here?
Wow.
Just
Okay.
do the curves so that the
Drop the comment.
As
The
he
arm
holds
is
up the
going-
comment over it. Yep.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, hey, look.
just the purple lines. So I just changed the direction of these lines so her arm's going back here into the. And now
hey, wow.
that arm's going back. This arm's going forward. Although the hand is still a tad bigger. But that fixes it real simple.
Good tip, Mike.
Yep, yep. By the way, as long as there's some new people here, Lone Star, Mind of the Monster Lands Chance campaign. If you have not seen it, if you watched
When
well-read
does this end?
review of it,
I'm sorry.
I don't know. I'm just gonna keep it up for a minute.
No end date. Storefront. Okay.
Yeah, no end date. But yeah, it's actually I do have to go back in and re-letter some stuff. I've been so focused on Afar, I haven't done it. So apologies to that. And I don't think I'm gonna add those pages, dude. Literature dev. I went back and watched that stream again, and I was listening, and I don't think it.
It's number 3.
I might redraw that one panel, but I don't think I'm gonna change those.
I failed you, Mike. I failed you.
Why?
I didn't read it. I read the first two, but then I didn't read that one.
Oh man.
It's over.
Well, everyone on Well Read stream did, and Well Read, who dat? Some guy on YouTube,
Some
real
guy.
Funny. I
bland
like him.
fella. Doesn't.
Jeez,
So,
man.
He's interesting and kind of objectionable.
So-
only kind, but only
Put that on a
kind.
business card.
Yeah.
If you did not watch the review, I think most of you here did.
Of the third one that
It's
you haven't put out yet.
pretty well reviewed. Lit Dev said it was one of the better
It's something about-
projects in the entire indie space. So
Dang.
he knows writing. And gosh, I wish I could say what some other people said, but they didn't say I could say stuff in public.
Oh,
Okay.
People were impressed. People in your space who you know were impressed.
I'll try to read it tomorrow.
So anyways, link is in the description, lonestarcomic.com if you haven't already backed it. Or if you backed the first two and just forgot to back the third one, it's fantastic. Fuzzy Creature says, best not CG project in CG. There you go. It's in the indie space. The Iron Age. Iron Age cometh.
Did you put a link in the description? Oh, there it is. Oh, I can't click on it. I have to go to the YouTube. Okay.
Not the CG stream. I put it in the chat, not the description. It's lonestarcomic.com.
Yep.
Same link as always. All right. Let's get back to watching Anthony redraw this arm. Oops.
Black. Right?
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
Goose.
That looks better.
Black.
All right. Now 7 of 9 is poking around.
Look at that picture on the right. They're not in order, I don't think. You look at the. But
What, the books?
Yeah.
Well, the first one is 2 bits, which was the preview book of Imaginaries, and then
It says 3.
there were only 4 issues. So you got the 4 issues and then 3 variants.
Oh, okay.
But the ones across the bottom, I believe, are.
So tell me about what is their story, the Imaginables. This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Oh, the Imaginaries is about what happens to your imaginary friends when you grow up and stop believing in them. They go to a place called the Imagination, which is the world of all the imaginary friends. And the fun thing is that, like, you see the nasty bears there fighting on that top right corner.
I'm gonna say
So
yes.
nasty bears are like schizophrenic because teddy bears have a tendency to have a personality invented by their child, and then their child grows up, stops believing in them. They end up back in the imagination, but then the teddy bear
Coming
gets
back
handed
exactly
down
like
to another kid, and the other kid
pretty
drags him
cool.
back
Who is-
into the real world, gives him a new personality, and then the cycle repeats. So, like in the Imagination, teddy bears tend to be sort of schizophrenic, and so the Ice Queen uses them as her personal army because she's given them a purpose to be her nasties.
Super cute. And you drew all these covers?
No, that was me and Gregory Titus.
Which
Gregory
covers are yours?
Top
Your
left,
guess.
far left, the 2 on the
Top
left, and then
2 on the
bottom
top
right.
left and bottom right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the top right one, I can't remember the name of the artist, but all the other 4 are by Gregory Titus,
I
who.
like the one in the upper left the best. I like that cover.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's his.
Out of all of them, I think, and
kind of a
not
twist.
just yours, but all of them.
They made a movie about it called Ted. No, they didn't. Oh, about the teddy bear?
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. Felsbug, can't wait to get issue 3. Really enjoyed Lone Star 1 and
Cool.
2. Thank you very much.
Out of stock. Whatever website I clicked on says they're out of stock. Can anybody get these? Are you selling those?
I have a handful of the trade paperbacks still, but I don't like list it for sale anywhere.
So they're not in. Okay.
But yeah, Greg Titus is the main series artist on those 4 issues until the last issue. Then he did about half of it. And he's the guy that ended up doing, all those Star Wars black figures, not black, like the art on it is the black and white art with he did all the Star Wars box art for that stuff. So
Okay.
he got really good. Perth, I did send 7 a review copy.
Yeah, you did. I didn't read it, Mike. I failed you. I'm sorry.
How about now, Mike?
Yeah. Dark Gift loved it. Best thing he ever read, he said.
How's
read
the
it
arm
tomorrow.
now?
You fly faster.
All right.
Am I
Back
muted?
to work.
Now let's see Anthony's new arm.
Speak up, Anthony. No one can hear you.
I said, how is it now?
It looks better.
Yes.
Oh, that looks a lot better.
Just add more crinkles in her jacket.
I would
On
move
your
I'd get the crinkle on the top of her jacket. That
Nah.
corner. I'd get rid of that. Yeah, that. Yeah, there you go.
I like the buttons. I like the 3 buttons going down there on her left arm.
I don't know. I just prefer Procreate over Clip Studio and Photoshop.
Oh, I thought you were talking about something else.
That's what I'm using.
That kind of Procreate. Okay.
Yes. I'm a very good Procreator. I mean.
Yeah. Good for
Anthony,
you.
what are you doing? Is he standing and drawing?
Yeah, I stand and draw.
Fuck. Or screw that.
When I'm using the
Stop
tablet, I
cussing
stand
on
and
Mike's
draw.
stream.
When I draw like with paper, I sit down. She's a Fed. Where are her credentials? They were taken away from her when she got captured.
So are you doing this whole book? Is that what's going on?
What's going on?
Are you doing this whole book? Which book is this for?
Hunting Alice.
Okay. So weird the ideas that come out of some of y'all in respect to like obscure style stories. It's like it's not Mad Comics. What was the other one?
Cracked.
Was it Crack? Yes, you know, it have such a variety of storytelling.
Ooh. I always knew that to be a parody book.
Is that
What,
the
Cracked?
thing?
Yeah, like Cracked and Mad were like parody books. You'd find like the Batman versus Mr. Freeze in there, but you know, like Mr. Freeze loses his pants and his dick gets frozen.
What
you
is
know?
that? Hey.
Yeah, I remember the Mad Magazine Empire Strikes Back parody issue where I can't remember what the Yoda character's name was, but he lived on a planet called Doggy Bag.
Yeah. Instead of Dagobah, it's a doggy
Yeah.
bag. So I thought it was a
yeah.
parody book. They just made fun of things all the time. That's all.
Yeah, they did the Poop Side Down adventure
Yeah.
instead of the Poseidon adventure.
There you go.
Yep.
What was that? 1981.
70 something.
Well, there was a redo with Kurt Douglas. That was their late 90s,
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, but Seven's probably talking about the one with
With the original.
Gene
OG.
Hackman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's got some panache.
Yeah, see, I couldn't draw like Anthony. Like I gotta zoom in, zoom out, turn sideways, turn this way. Like just having it straight like that. And drawing.
Vic King tapes his paper down at the top.
Yeah, some people, yeah, they don't move the paper at all.
Yep. How they learned how to drew.
Mhm.
You like music? You like
Yeah, music is
copyright
fun.
free that won't get you struck music? See, I own the copyright on the song. That's all.
Oh, well, there you go. I mean, if nobody has anything else to say, I could just end the stream. We don't have to
Why?
just sit here.
Why? It's a draw stream. Don't you remember these? It's a work stream. Don't you remember these, Mike? You used to fire these up all the time. You guys would go like a half an hour in dead silence sometimes.
That's true. Could put my screen up. And I'd have to share. Hold on. Reflector. Dang, I got so much crap open on my freaking computer.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, what is that thing?
That's a leg.
I want to see the whole figure running from head to toe.
Oh, zoom out.
Yeah.
Dark Gift, you have a request to zoom out when you're done with that fancy knee.
All right, boys and girls, I'm personally going to go to bed myself.
Personally.
All right, Gay Dollar.
Peace, Gay Dollar.
Later,
All
good
right.
dollar.
House.
Y'all have fun, homos.
Gay. All right.
Okay, that's I like. Okay.
Where is this freaking thing? Oh, there we go. There it be. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Share screen window. There we go.
Oh.
Oh, cute. What Bible verse is that?
This is Matthew chapter 14,
Um,
On the Mount, let me guess if I could look at the pictures. There's who is that? Jesus sitting. Somebody else follows. I'm going to say Sermon on the Mount, or when he turned fish and bread into a lot more.
No, do you remember the this is right before that scene.
Okay, it's close.
So
Let's take that
when
one.
Jesus heard of it, he departed thence by ship into a desert place apart. I'm not going to do the ship, but I had him depart. And when the people had heard thereof, they followed him on foot out of the cities. And so that's this part.
Okay.
And then this becomes the great multitude. And then
Okay.
Right.
It's close.
Yeah. This is funny because this and the previous strip, which was this one, it's both the same. It's like this is 13A, and then the next one will be 13B. It's like I had to use
14, 13.
2 strips to do one word, but and then there's others where it's like I can do like 8 scriptures in one strip. You know, it's like it really varies how the visual storytelling
Like,
works.
go back to the other one.
All the food in the basket.
Oops. Oops. Which one is it? There we go.
So this, yeah, I like this one. It really sets the stage because it starts off with a lone figure
Mhm.
there in the left, and then a multitude of people there on the right.
Oh, dang it.
So that sort of sets the stage. But then these people on this one that you have up now,
Yeah.
it's like a
So
different
that
scene. It's just
multitude just starts gathering
yeah,
together.
yeah.
Yeah. So there it is.
You got to put detail in all those faces that you got roughed out.
Yeah, just got to throw a little mud in there. you
Oh,
know,
there's the mud. Yeah,
dirty
okay.
them up.
Oh.
Dirty them up a little bit.
That's cool. Have you sketched out the part where they lose their mud, where the mud falls off of them?
No, I'm doing this one page at a time, so
Okay.
that will probably
I'll
be
stop rushing you. All right.
like
there's no hurry.
120 pages in, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on page 92 right now.
And each page is just 4 panels.
Yeah. It's funny when I started this, or not when I started, but when I was about 50 pages in, I was like, this is probably going to be about 80 pages. And now,
Wah, wah.
yeah.
Oh, he's muddy too. Look how clean Jesus is. That Jesus there sitting down?
Yep.
So clean.
Spotless.
Yep.
The unblemished
Sinless.
lamb.
Mm-hmm. Mary's only son?
No. Talking about
Jesus.
Mary had Jesus, Joseph,
brothers?
Simon, James, and Judas, and sisters beside. They got
Jesus,
Bezak.
I guess, was the oldest.
Yeah. That happens with the whole virgin birth thing,
What pilot?
Yeah.
Kind of can't have an older brother when you're a product of a virgin birth. But somebody was a butt baby.
Have you read the Infancy Gospel of Thomas?
The Infancy Gospel of Thomas?
Yeah.
No, I never heard of it.
Tells the story of young Jesus between, I think, the ages of 5 and
Oh, is this the
11.
one where he turned a bird into...
Yeah,
or
he was a brat.
Made a bird out of
Sure
clay
was.
or something like that?
Yes, yeah, and he got mad at his little friend because his little friend came and kicked over his miracle. He, had water piled up somewhere, and some little kid came and kicked it over, and Jesus got mad at him.
Turned him to stone.
Yeah, he
Turned him
understood
into
it.
a pillar of salt.
He killed a tree. He killed a kid. He brought another kid back to life. Like Jesus and his friend I don't know how old they were, 9, 10, on a roof, fixing a roof, and Jesus' friend fell off the roof and died. And then everybody blamed his death on Jesus because they had good evidence, because he went around killing a lot of kids. Said, I didn't do it. And he climbed down off the building and resurrected the kid and said, tell them I didn't kill you. And then the kid said, no, I fell off the roof.
Yeah, those are what we call heretical writings.
Are they?
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, that was written around 300 or 400 AD.
Something like that.
So it wasn't quite an eyewitness account. And Thomas was really, really dead by then.
Mostly.
Cool story, though.
Yeah, yeah. But it's about as canonical as Mark
I know it's not
Miller's
canon.
Mark Miller's new The Chosen. Anybody watch that yet?
Nope.
I keep intending to, but I just never get around to it.
That looks good. You do that so fast, and that looks really good.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Mud.
Max, don't drink my tea.
That's the cat.
That's the cat. Always trying to drink my tea, man.
Caffeine fiend kitty cat.
Yup. You drawing too, Cider?
Hmm?
You drawing?
No. I'm a writer, sir.
The car
I-
crash.
Oh.
I don't venture into the realm of the artiste.
We're beneath him.
Take your
Mike.
meds.
What? What was that, Dark Gift?
He said,
I said-
Yeah,
I said
like that.
we're beneath him.
Apparently. That's absolutely what I meant.
I'm the Underminer. I'm always beneath you, but nothing is beneath me.
Get
I always love
money
that line.
wasters.
Incredibles 2. What a mistake that was.
Oh, it wasn't that bad.
Oh, it was.
Not compared to the stuff that's coming out today.
It's pretty close. It's pretty close. Mr. Incredible was completely Jake Skywalkered in that. He got Jake Skywalker hard. Oh, I don't know. The only reason why I watched the first Incredibles is because of Mrs. Incredible. If you're seeing a pattern, that's great character, very well thought out. Being a pilot and whatever else was going on with her. Yeah, that awesome.
Quiero Taco Bell.
Was she a pilot in the first one?
Taco
She
Bell.
borrows the plane that flies into the island, and then Syndrome's drones take her out. She has to land, and she turns into a boat so Violet can ride inside of her. Ew, that's weird. And then Dash kicks in the back like a motorboat.
That was a great scene, though. We're dead. We're dead.
Taco Bell.
We're not dead. But yeah, Mrs. Incredible's lisp is also adorable. I really like her tiny little speech impediment she has. I like that a lot. That's a nice
Well,
little touch.
that's the actress. She just talks like that.
Oh, well, it's endearing.
What's her name?
I like it.
She's from, she was in Always with John
Ooh.
Goodman.
I just know the character has a interesting backstory.
Ah,
Holly
Holly
Hunter.
there
Yeah.
you go. Gosh, dang it, this freaking iPad. You guys see that glitch when it happens?
Nope.
Oh, annoying.
No.
I just did it right then.
Hmm.
See that little, it just creates that little splotch.
Oh yeah, it doesn't pick up your pen.
Yeah.
Weird. Is there like dead spots maybe?
I don't know. And it's past my warranty.
Yep, that's why.
Yeah,
Right on time.
that's why.
No, I'm just mesmerized at how fast you're getting this done. Like each one of your strokes are deliberate,
Well, I mean,
and
pretty
they're
basic.
right the first time. You know what I mean? Like I've been watching you do this whole thing from just Jesus sitting there, and that you've drawn all these faces,
Mm-hmm.
and you haven't put a stroke wrong. Ish.
Well, I mean, the thing does glitch here and there.
Well, that's not your fault.
Why do you hear?
But that's how these guys work. So I don't venture into the realm of the artist. It's just a Mike can see what he wants to draw, and that's all he does is just translate that into the pen. He knows where
Just like
everything
that.
goes. Yeah,
Yeah.
he knows where everything goes. It's like a bricklayer. It's like watching a bricklayer work. They just know. They take out a square
Yeah.
every now and then, but that's
Right.
it. They just know. There's never too much spackle. There's always the right amount.
Just enough.
Yep. And that's how these guys work. It's like watching Ethan draw the Cyberfrog cards and pages. He just does a couple of circles here and there to
Mhm.
establish where a head
Mhm.
goes, and away he goes like just cranking out a page,
Yeah, the funny part is he puts a circle in the wrong place and then he inks it in. Then he can't fix it.
Well, shiny parts, right? You make all
He
that chrome
doesn't
for a
always
reason.
ink it in over that rough, because he always does that blue rough thing that
Yeah.
just looks a hot mess. But he
Sketchy
doesn't
pens.
always ink over exactly the lines
Ow.
you drew in the first place.
Yeah.
All right.
And
That looks great, Mike.
Yep.
Looks good.
I fell.
Yeah.
I fell.
Danke.
Oh, there's our boy. Jesus looks really young, though, Mike. Like young.
Well, he's a cartoon.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not as weird as that Jesus and the Argonauts thing that
Oh my
Robot
god.
Chicken did. That was weird.
That I did not see.
Who's standing behind the barriers?
It's just
Oh,
the joke of it is turn the other cheek. And because Jesus is immortal, none of the enemies that the Argonauts meet can defeat him, but they keep killing off the Argonauts instead of him. So that's the joke.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, jujitsu. I get it.
Yep.
Okay. I get it.
Did you
the
seriously
Yamaha
not get it?
enthusiast?
I get it now.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Don't spell it like that in Japan. They'll be very offended.
Okay.
I don't want to cross his legs.
They kind of look
That
a
one
little
goes
strange stuck out.
over.
in front of
Yeah.
It's like a knot. No, that's right. His left leg over, his right leg under. Yes.
Yeah, but I don't want to do it like that.
And then just draw his foot coming up the other way. Is right.
Still want it tucked in. It's hard to do because his legs are so stubby. I'm not
Yeah.
drawing like full size legs.
Well, maybe just have his feet meet rather than have them cross. So his knees are bent and his feet meet.
Yeah, it's good enough.
Okay.
That's good enough. Okay. How's your family, Mike?
Good, good. Eden had some health issues a little while ago, but she seems like she's getting better. So
Bless her.
yeah, Elijah's getting married in February.
Wow.
Congratulations.
All right. So my wife is
Playing
going
well.
around looking for wedding venue stuff, and that's always fun.
Someone's gonna die in like 10 seconds.
Oh, my back.
It's gonna be me.
And these guys are back in school.
I'm definitely dead.
Oh, apparently Selma Hayek is either producing or lead star in a movie called The Flavor of Christmas. It's about a family accepting that their child is trans now at Christmas.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Eh, just
How did this just all freaking happen so fast?
Black Rock.
Man.
I drive.
It is
What's up with Larry? Is Larry Fink like trans or something? Why is he pushing
No,
this?
no. It destroys the family unit. And by destroying the family unit, you force people to be more reliant on corporations and what they provide you for escapism, toys, physical entertainment like theme parks.
See? See that glitch?
Yep, I saw that.
Yeah, dude, I think you got a dead spot on your screen, man. Roman dead spot.
I think I have more than one.
It used to happen on the old droids a lot. Those original.
See, that's a different spot. That's a totally different spot.
Yeah, you might have a roaming one, a static bubble moving around. That happened.
Things got really good after Brock Hudson died.
What?
I mean, in a weird way, because after that, it was okay. We understand now that there's gay people that are around us, and it's fine, and we don't care. So we were able to live our lives as we saw fit, and nobody cared. I don't know until they decide. Well,
Until they start pushing an agenda to force it
which
down everybody
bathroom
else's
should
throat.
they go to? Yeah,
Yeah.
The Home Depot things, like,
Oh my gosh.
It went from
and they
we just want to live our lives and you know to
better
like you will accept
accept
us or you can never work in
or
your
else
chosen
you mother
profession.
you
Mother
bad
fluffers.
person. No, I'm on Mike's stream. I don't want to cuss on Mike's stream.
Yeah, no fluffing on my stream, sir.
Right. Every fluffers around here. But yeah, no, it's BlackRock. By destroying the family unit, you force people to be reliant on that. And of course, the trans thing, you make a crap ton of money with plastic surgery, therapy, drugs, and that's
the
for
people
life.
that provide the medicine, the people that do the plastic surgery, the psychiatrists that are involved in the.
Everybody gets a palm grease.
Disgusting. It's so gross.
ESG is actually a law. If you don't follow it, they can turn down a company's ability to borrow. So these studios can't make movies without borrowing millions of dollars. If you don't follow ESG, if your score falls below a certain diversity, equity, and inclusion status, you are unable to borrow so many millions of dollars. And BlackRock has enforced this in the U.S. and several other Western countries. And this is now law. This is how banking's
Borrow
done.
from them, but if you have the money to do it yourself, you can do it, right? As long as
Sure,
you're
that's how
not
self-publishing
dependent on their money.
But if you go through any publisher, they're following ESG. That's the only way they can borrow money if they need it. So they're going to tell you, no, you can't put your Jesus book out because somebody somewhere is going to be mad about it. But you can go ahead and put out your book about Jesus getting peed on. That's fine. We don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, Mapleforth did that.
Because that's what the corporation wants. They want to make sure that chaos and unrest is sown everywhere. What do? You attack the most popular religion in the West.
Oh my gosh.
What does that religion make a cornerstone of? Family. And how do you
Family.
disrupt that? By making
And-
everybody self-centered.
And individual responsibility.
What's more self-centered than saying God made a mistake and put the wrong soul in the wrong body? What's more self-centered than that? There ain't nothing more self-centered in my opinion. God made a mistake and put a female soul in a male body, put a male soul in a female body. I can't imagine anything more self-absorbed than that.
Oh, I saw that glitch too, Mike.
It is infuriating.
I'm Catholic, and my parents were Vatican I. It was sort of scary being a old gay feller.
Gay.
I'm not telling you exactly which decade, but it was a long time ago. It was before Rock Hudson died.
Real.
Is that
I mean,
1980?
Maybe.
Isn't that when he died? 80?
Yeah, something like that. I'm guessing.
I remember.
But I understand the
85.
fear, but all of that ended when Rock Hudson died. It's like now everybody knows that there, are gay people among us, and then nobody cared anymore,
Among Us.
and it wasn't a big deal. It was funny, like in movies or TV shows, like Jim J. Bullock, him and Ted Knight in that goofy
Oh,
sitcom where he was a cartoonist and he drew
Yeah,
with a
with the
cow.
cow,
up
the-
in the
Oh,
tree.
yeah. I love that show.
what was it called?
Next
Too
door,
Close for
something, he
Comfort?
had 2 daughters, and
Yeah.
it was Jim J. Bullock was the goofy gay neighbor.
He lived upstairs in the apartment upstairs. Yeah, Too Close for Comfort, I think.
Yes, yeah. That's it.
In San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoa.
But
Well-
now you must care. You not only must care, but you must celebrate this kind of horrid behavior. It's just astonishingly brutal what they're doing to children
Yep.
in the name of diversity. It's just, oh God.
Now women are
And they
birthing
want to
people?
attach themselves to like LGB.
Yeah.
The T initially meant transvestites, just the dudes that dressed up like women, just the vestments, the vestites.
Cross-dresser.
So that was like the LGBT.
Like Klinger.
Yes. Yes.
Now it's become a bit of a religion.
Like Klinger. And as much as, I don't know, the LGB people are a community, which I don't think we are.
No. I don't know many things that
But-
lesbians and gays agree on.
The
I
whole
really don't.
transgender thing, the whole
That they don't like
transgender
each
thing
other.
Yeah, that's true.
is based on a lie. Yes, little Tammy, eventually one day you can have a penis and be able to ejaculate. Yes, little Timmy,
Yeah.
one day you will have a womb capable of birthing a baby.
Yes,
They're
little Timmy.
telling
One day
children,
you will
don't
commit
do it.
suicide because of all of these lies.
It's hard to explain.
But it's your fault, though, Mike, because you're transphobic. It's your fault. you
Yeah.
commit suicide.
I'm used to it being my fault.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you bear the burden?
Grin and bear it.
Mm.
See, how I've decided to combat this
Where'd you go?
is rather than see trans is
Lesbian space pilots.
Yes.
Nope. that makes no mention of trans because it's I don't like that. What I do instead is this: is I emphasize the destination. I want to build up. Right now we're stuck in a monolith culture between men and women. If you don't fit into Dwayne the Rock Johnson, you're not a man. If you don't fit into Beyonce, you're not a woman. And this is how the trans get their crowbar in and start prying off people.
Right.
What used to be a dandy man and what used to be a tomboy have been just completely ejected out of their origin gender, if you will. You're not allowed to express in a masculine manner as a woman, and you can't express as in a feminine manner as a man. Otherwise, you must transition. You are in the wrong body. Your therapist will tell you. Your school counselor will tell you this. That simply by exuding these traits, you must transition now. You must go through the surgeries, the hormones, the name reassignment, the pronoun game.
You will be a eunuch.
Do you know
Well,
who's
that's
going to be
why-
on the forefront of keeping this in the public eye? Are the parents of trans children?
Detransers, yep.
they will never admit that they have harmed their child.
Yep, that's
Right.
true.
Well, I
Their-
mean, they're
their every
Munchausen
action
parents.
was in loving support of their child. So they're not going to let it go. They're the ones that are going to be.
Yeah,
keeping it
they're
going,
going to
even
use
more
their
than the
little.
trans
They're going to
community.
use their suicided children as martyrs.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
the way it's going to be.
Just
You think the trans suicide rate
malicious.
at
It's evil.
42% was bad?
They're trying to kill me.
Imagine and those were people who had legitimate, dysmorphia problems. This whole social contagion thing turning, like you're saying, tomboys
Everywhere.
into
yeah.
eunuchs. Dude, the freaking suicide rate is going to be 80% in the next 20 years.
I was
Well-
just gonna say that the trans now that they're literally, I want to say, like, quote unquote breeding, are not the trans of yesterday. They're not. They don't have the mental disorders that they had that made them the way they are.
No, they just wanted some attention from their parents and their peers. And this is the cool thing. And instead of it being the cool thing, their freaking school counselor is taking them to the doctor without their parents even knowing and giving them hormone blockers.
Right. That's why, like Liz, like, she has a hard time because she loses her shit about what's going on.
Yeah.
Because, like, she'll be the first one to tell you, I'm a biological male who, has gender dysphoria.
That's
And
like the best one.
like went through like years and years of therapy and all that stuff, and like for every little step of the way, like what these kids are getting nowadays, like within a matter of months, it took her like 10 years, like to get to, and that was still with the reluctancy of the doctors.
Fast-tracked it.
Yeah, and it's insane.
That's a
It's
$50,000 down payment on a lifetime of pain.
Expensive. Who's?
Yep.
Oh my.
Well, here's the thing: is you can't transition on either side of this without becoming sterile. That is an
Right.
automatic.
Right.
There is no way to do that. Now, here's this: the way I fight this is making sure that there's space, that there are representations, visuals, concepts of characters that divert from this ultra feminine monolith
Right.
and this ultra masculine monolith. Because we have to get back to letting these kids know, and it has to be the kids. They're the target of this. We have to get back to letting them know that, yeah, you might not be into monster trucks, Jimmy, but that doesn't mean you need to cut your wing wang off. All right. You don't need to do that. All right, Jenny, we get it. You don't want to make cakes, but that doesn't mean you need to, become zipper boobs.
If me and my friend Renee grew up today, they would totally have her as a boy right now. She was the biggest tomboy, wore camouflage pants and t-shirts, loved Rambo, you know what I mean? And like now she's like one of the biggest girly girls, but when she was a kid, she was a tomboy, you know? I wouldn't say she's a girly girl, but she's way feminine.
Yeah, more than she was. 70% of D-trans people that are going back or trying to say that their gender was not the problem. The acceptance of their diversion from their birth gender was the problem. That
The
they couldn't
acceptance,
find a
what
place.
Other people thought about them. Their
Correct.
Acceptance.
Well, their view of how people thought of them, right? That reflect situation where they're thinking that this person is judging them, but there's no judgment. So they're overcorrecting. And that's what that is they think like, oh, I behave like a boy. This person expects me to be a boy. I should be a boy. And that's what this logic comes from. And the therapist reinforces it because they're like, oh, no, if we don't tell them that they're boys with their girls or they're girls with their boys, they'll off themselves. They'll go sewer slide on us. And you don't want to be responsible for that. So they don't fight it.
It was
Why
the same with
would
my
an honest psychologist say that? What would motivate a psychologist?
Money, mostly, and prestige. Being the one that saved so many lives. I am the great trans whisperer. That.
Well, and I think it's a
That's a
truism
good
that
villain
most
name.
people who go into this field of psychology go there because they have psychological issues.
Yes.
Right.
That's 10 out of 10 times. That's what leads people. They want to understand their own problems. So they go take that course and end up making money afterwards.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, my friend Amy too. When we were growing up, she was on the Pop Warner football team, until she grew boobs, hit puberty, and then they were like, okay, you can't be on the football team anymore. Number one, you got boobs. Number two, right when they were getting like from Pop Warner into tackle, you know what I mean? So they were like, okay, you could be a cheerleader if you want. So she did. And like, she, all through high school and stuff, like always dating. It turned out she's a lesbian, right? But like,
Oh well.
she's like the even though she was very like sporty, she's like in her relationship, she'd be considered the lipstick lesbian, and the other one would be the butch lesbian,
Yeah.
And
But this was during the time nobody cared anybody was gay. This was
right.
before the trans movement.
Obviously there was still a little like, hesitancy on coming out because it took her so long to do so. Like she didn't come out till she was like in college or whatever.
It's
But,
not a
like,
happy thing.
But yeah, especially because you know what it is. I guess, and you would probably know better, Seven, right? But like, I guess at some point, you feel like, well, I've been living this lie for so long. If I come out now, like, I'll be like, everybody will be disillusioned. So let me just keep the illusion that I have of people, like that people have of me. I gotta feel like that's what she was going through. And like, I remember when she came, like, was talking to me and my buddy Mike, and we're like, Amy, we're kind of not shocked, I mean, like,
Yep.
my ex-girlfriend Heidi, that one, nobody was shocked when she came out. Like, like we were like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
I came out 10 times. 9 times. I have 8 siblings, and I had 2 sets of parents, or 1 set of parents, 2 parents. So I told my parents, and then I told each sibling sort of separately. So there was 8 more times.
Did it get easier with each one?
Well, yeah, because I kept getting the same answer. We know. We don't care.
Right. Yeah, like it was
no,
funny
we don't
too,
care. We still love you.
Because the biggest joke, because Friends was big back then. This was like in the 90s when Heidi finally came out.
Yeah.
And her sister was probably the one that took it like the hardest. Because her sister was like very, very like Miss Popularity type of chick. You know what I mean? And like, so she, not that she denounced, like they didn't fight, whatever, but like when she would get a little bit of a buzz on, she'd be like, Anthony, I know you're the only one that can turn her back. Like, like say stuff like that, I'm like, Tracy, come on. But it was funny because Friends was a big thing at the time. And everybody was like, oh, she made you a Ross. I'm like, she dated 4 guys, got married, and left her husband for another woman. If anything, she made him Ross, like, But that was like how prolific like our high school relationship was. Like everybody was like, even like 15 years later was like, oh, Heidi's a lesbian. How does Anthony feel? I'm like, I don't care. Like I barely talk. Like we talk to each other once a year when we run into each other, like at a bar somewhere. It was so weird. Just weird how like people like, they don't care, but it's like the gossip train.
Right. But
it was like
now
the
we're
gossip
supposed to
train
care
of it all.
about trans people and
But they're not trans.
states asserting their authority to take children away from their parents
Oh, dude.
Such
for
insane.
not affirming their child's gender.
Did he sign off on that, Mike?
They
I don't
proposed
know,
it.
man.
It's as if they signed off on it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that was Monday. That was done.
No, that was when that's when they proposed the law and passed it. He has to sign off on it to make it law, doesn't he? Newsom?
So, sign.
I don't
Look
know.
at
I haven't been
Sky.
paying attention to the news.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna happen in your state, bro. Just letting you know.
Yo.
No.
No, it doesn't look like he signed it yet.
Well, because he's got
Yeah,
presidential
but
aspirations.
it's proposed. I mean, they passed it. They sent it to his desk.
Yeah.
That's kind of messed up.
Yep.
It's the same state that in 2020 opted to try to get rid of their civil rights laws in their state.
Those
Constitution.
inconvenient little laws. Just get rid of those.
Canada did this, like back in 2017. They did the whole you don't accept your kids, you're getting them taken away from you.
You know, Anthony, you're in Jersey. You're not exactly in freaking the Bible Belt.
No, I know. Trust me, I know. But we have a stronger.
Your state's doing this, Mike.
we have a stronger, I guess, conservative base here than like say in like California, which keeps us, even though we're always kind of blue, it does keep us. It does keep us kind of balanced.
So you got a
little
nice
bit.
mix there.
Especially like my area, like you'll
Purple.
like you literally where I live, like I'll drive, I'll come out of my neighborhood, get on the main highway, and drive south, and there's like this business and this house where all they have is huge Trump flags everywhere, and then you drive down a little further, and there's another place that's got like a Biden flag out in front of their house. You know what I mean? And we are mostly blue, but yeah, like there's you know, because it's suburbia. You know what I mean? We don't have like the big cities like Manhattan or LA or San Francisco or anything like that. So you have a lot of like, even though they might be liberal, they are like the traditional sense liberal, like house moms. You know what I mean? And where I work is a very big conservative area. Like my boss is conservative. Yeah.
What is this again? Matthew 14:13b.
So I've had this weird streak of Mormonism in my life since my mother passed. I was going through some of her stuff.
Mormonism?
Yeah, it's a really weird streak of it. It just showed up in my life. So I was going through her. Well, here we go. I was going through some of her stuff, and in her cedar chest there, you know, you keep everything that's important, I guess. My father's Bible was in there. So I was just kind of flipping through it, taking a look at the stuff he'd written in it and whatnot, because he was born in 1929, so like there's a lot of freaking stuff in there, you know. And out comes a certification of ordination from the Mormon Church, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
That's the one.
And my father was a certified deacon of the Mormon Church in 1961. Now, I find this about 2 weeks later.
So Dad was definitely not black then.
No. My father, he was a mix of everything going, but he not the too dark complected. I think he was a quarter Cherokee.
They didn't allow blacks into the Mormon church.
No, they believed that they were people who went against Jesus. It's really bizarre.
They were cursed.
Yeah, it's a really weird way of looking at things. But then of course, like 2 weeks later, I'm just kind of like doing dishes and, you know, cooking dinner in the background. And then a knock comes at my door, and these two very foxy Mormon girls are on my front porch that just want to like, hey, you know, here's my number. Text me when you're coming to church on Sunday. It's at 9:30. I was like, pretty girls. Hello. We can see everything.
It doesn't matter. I'm just saving it to the Dropbox.
Okay.
See all of Mike's world domination plan. But yeah, no, I had these two foxy Mormons come to my doorstep and like invite me to come to church. Gave me their number to text them when I was coming. Obviously, it's church phone. But then I checkpoint. I don't let strangers into my house. I live in Maine. I know that's a good way to invite like goblins or vampires, one or the other, into the house, and I just don't want to take that risk. You know, I live in Maine. There's a good chance those are real here. But yeah, then like I've gotten more condolence messages from like the doctor's offices than my own blood relations. It's really great. One of the doctor's offices is a Mormon's doctor's office that my mother used to go to, and they sent like a very, very nice condolence message about their experience with her. And it's from a Mormon. Huh?
That looks good, Anthony.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So that's the streak of Mormonism I've had. It's quite bizarre. So I'm thinking about going to Mormon church, see if those foxy girls are there. You know.
There you go.
You want to get a non-alcoholic cider?
And then you could marry both of them.
I gotta go. I didn't know that. I gotta go.
All right, and with that, it is midnight, so I'm gonna wrap this up. So thanks everybody for hanging out,
Yeah, thanks for hosting.
and again, LoneStarComic.com if you are so inclined.
Peace, not Comicsgate.
Put it on here. At LoneStarComic.com. Go grab yourself some awesome comic books, and then subscribe to everybody here. I suppose you probably already are.
Definitely
Already
do that.
are.
We
Thanks,
got
Mike.
CG Slumlords
right.
tomorrow night. So
Do you do what now?
we got CG Slumlords tomorrow night.
Oh, really? Because we have Drawn and Quartered tomorrow night, or whatever Wednesday stream we're doing here.
Well, they can bounce back and
over.
forth.
Sure. Sounds like a plan.
I'm not watching either one of you.
Ah.
Bastard.
All right. Good night, everybody.